I just had the biggest aha moment. Okay, I just came out of a life coaching session with this woman that I'm coaching, and she's just having so much trouble with different things in her life. Not such major trouble, but just a lot of issues coming up for them, her and her husband and her kids. And after an hour session with her, I realized something so insane about reality and about life and about the way I mother my kids and the way I mother myself. Okay, and I realized that kids that grew up having all their needs met, like all their needs met, and making sure that they're really good and making sure that there's always someone there to bail them out of whatever situation they're in. Kids that are always like helped and I don't know, just everything kind of like done for them, okay? They literally they grow up to be our age and they literally don't know how to handle life. They literally don't know. It's almost like they were raised in this golden cage, okay, and their needs were taken care of them, and they probably had a lot of other kids around them when they were younger super jealous of their life because they had everything that they needed and wanted and vacations and all the nicest stuff, and they didn't, they had maids and chefs and all these things, so whatever. So and then they grow up and not necessarily does the money continue to come into their life the way they grew up, and they literally have to deal with so much anxiety, so much overwhelm, so much mental breakdown because of the fact that they were so coddled as children. And it makes me realize that, like, for myself, another thing, really important. How do you know when a person's been really coddled? When every little thing in their life turns into drama. Like having to go take a shower is drama. Having to, having to I don't know, pick up a heavy bag is all of a sudden like, I can't, it's too much. I have always to do everything around here. It's always, right? How do you know when a person has been too spoiled? Okay? When the smallest tasks turn into like drama. Okay? Like really big deals. So I realized after this session, I grew up very, like, we were immigrants, we had to help our parents, we had to figure things out, we had to deal with the fact that we didn't have things a lot, right? And I had to deal with, and then later when I became religious and not being able to eat at home and not be able to keep Shabbos at home and having to figure out where I'm going, where I'm eating, where I'm get a skirt to wear, right? Those difficulties in my life when my parents came to America and there was just no money, like having to go through difficulties like that gave me the tools to get through the difficulties of life, Baruch Hashem, right? Like I didn't think to depend on anyone. I didn't think that I needed anyone because I grew up much more independent. And I just want to say that two things. Number one, for our kids, if you can't give your kids everything, summer camp, the best clothes, the best stuff, you can't deliver on all ends, you're doing them a service, not a disservice. So stop killing yourself. And normally it's the parents that had to really the ones that had a hard childhood, the ones that had to just step up, the ones that had to deal with the fact that there was just no money for or no ability to or whatever it is. Those are the ones that feel like they have to overcompensate for their kids. Like, I didn't go to camp, so my kids are going to have to go to camp, or I didn't, I never got this, so I want to give this to my kids so they have this experience. Like, don't overcompensate, because what you overcompensating for what you didn't get as a child, okay, and what you so badly wanted, is you coddling your child that's not going to even appreciate it or know to appreciate it, and eventually, it turns into a disservice. That doesn't mean that you can't give your kids all the best things in the world. The question is, do we cut their wings? Do we snip their wings by doing everything for them and making sure that all their needs are met and making sure that whatever they need is brought to really mamish to their mouth? Okay? Are we snipping their wings? Because later in life, the ones that I'm meeting, the ones that are sitting on my couch, are the ones that literally can't get dinner and the kids to bed at the same time because it's so overwhelming, because there was never really any responsibility on her, right? So with a ton of help and a ton of everything, it's just overwhelming. Those muscles were never really, they were never developed. Her parents made her weak, right, and dependent, and now then she moved into her husband, and now she's weak and dependent with him, and she's really not weak and independent. She just became that way. And the last point I want to make is that for myself, all the stuff in my life that's comfortable for me, that's keeping me small, falls into the same category. All the comforts, all the things that like I'm finicky about, that I'm coddled, that I don't want to like give up, and it's hard for me, and whatever is keeping me small. Okay, it's keeping us super, super small. So just remember that it's like the pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, doing something every single day that's a little bit difficult for you, that's not so simple, not so easy. For example, like the example I gave her, she doesn't daven and she loves davening. I said, can you say Berachas HaShachar in the morning? It's getting up, it's covering your hair, it's washing your hands, and it's saying the brachos. Can you do that? It's not being on the couch eating ice cream and feeling cozy. Can you do that? And she was like, yeah, I could do that, right? It's committing to something that's not easy, cozy, comfortable, simple. It's coming out of your comfort zone, okay? Stopping to drink that thing, eat that thing, smoke that thing, starting to work out, starting to daven, starting to push yourself to take a course, right? Those things, or whatever it is that's outside of your comfort zone, do a little bit of that every day, because it's the difficult things that really allow us to meet ourselves for real in life. Have a good day.